Welcome back to Backroom Convos. I'm your host with the most, the Summer M30 Report, aka Shoot Your Shot. And maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy like Cairo. Listen, if you're a fan of Port, stay tuned because you might like what we could get. And today, the last episode for the day, guys, we are talking about Big Brother Mzanzi. And I think with this second one, Toya Lazy, there's not much to talk about, but there usually is a lot to talk about, if you know what I mean, because I think my little bit of experience when it comes to music tends to take over, my passion talk when it is like music, it tends to like take over the conversation, right? But I want us to talk about something else though. So before we do that, the song of the day is Jealousy featuring who's in, I did mention earlier on the people who were in the song. So one of the famous people who is in the song is Hana ICU, Lim Kim, Khalil Harris, CK RSA. So those are the 4 names that are part of the song. So the song was released last year, 2023. The song is 6 minutes 30 seconds long and currently sits at 1.1 million on Spotify alone. So yeah, that's the song of the day. What's your favorite song? What's the song you've been bumping? So I've been bumping a lot of last week. The whole of last week I've been bumping Don't Phazamisa Me. I think it's by Stilo Makolite. Don't Phazamisa Me. I think it's Stilo Makolite. I don't know who that song features though, but I know Stilo Makolite is the main artist in the song. The vocals, the chorus, it's him who's just doing that. Don't Phazamisa Me. The opening part or the chorus of the song, he's doing that. So I've been bumping a lot of that for the entire time last week. So I tried this week, but this week has a different flow to it. So I'm trying to find the voice or the music for this week, to find my energy and flow within this week we are in. There's a lot that's going on. So like, it's not always the same note where you listen to the same artist, the same music, the same it's not the same with me. I have to like listen to or within the voice that's in myself and like try and like figure out what's the flow, what is the energy, my energy telling me. And I don't know if this is the word. I find the way that my energy, I find a song that aligns with my energy. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say to you. I listen to a lot of music, and when I hit or get to a song where I'm like, oh, this is soothing given what I'm going through, I don't know if that's just me, but I do that a lot. So even this week, I haven't been listening to a lot of music. I haven't been busy the way I've been busy ever in my life. So like, this is new for me. Like, I'm busy, there's appointments, and like if there's a time where someone has to be my assistant, or if there's a time where I can book someone to be my assistant, it's now, bro. Like, I'm learning a lot at the same time. There's busy, like I'm trying to juggle a lot of things and like learn as much as I can from the experience that I'm going through now. So yeah, man. So Don't Phazamisa means it's one of those songs where, why do I feel like me talking about this song is me justifying Gucci? Is it justifying? I don't think justifying is the word. It's me trying to make sense of why I listen to the song, because maybe it's a groove, it's a motto of life. Don't Phazamisa Me, I'm in my element. You know what I mean? I don't know, but I just like the song and I listened to it last week, so it made sense then. But even now, I still bump it time and time again. Time now and maybe a week later, a week don't. I do bump in between those times or sessions. I do that a lot. So besides, a lot of things, man. What did you think about the first I know a lot of people haven't listened to that episode because I was looking at the numbers, so I realized it was people weren't listening. And the stats, like before we head over, Vele, talk about whatever that we meant to talk about on today's show. Like, the stats that I read out, bro, like, they don't make sense. I don't know why, but I felt like Senzo played a lot yeah, I felt like Senzo played a lot because the stats that I read out earlier on is that Senzo on the Telkom knockout, this is the stats for Telkom knockout. In 2014, he played 2 matches and he doesn't have a red, he doesn't have a yellow. On 2015, 2017 PSL, he had 9 games and 1 yellow card. MTNA 2014, he had 4 matches and 1 yellow card. So in total, overall, in his career, he has 2 yellow cards and no red cards. And the games are 11 plus 5. It's 15 games that he's played in the entire games that he's played in his career. So he passed on 2014 October 26th in Foster Ross in Kedikumado's hole. So that's when he passed on and left us. And he was making, a name for himself, and like this drama, and he passed on, and boom boom boom. Mandy Samiiwa, the wife of the late Senzo Meiwa, and there was Katie. So it's just a lot that's been going on in the trial. For those of you who missed it, man, go listen to episode 92, man. We're on the road to 100 episodes. This is 103, not 103, 93. And I've been asking people to give us names on the comment section. Who do you think we need to have first as our guest? Do we have Emmanuel Musala, who's the CEO of Lavat? Secondly, do we have Mighty Mabule from Mabule International, who's like a founder and mentor for upcoming entrepreneurs? Do we bring him in the second place or like the first place? You do let me know. On third place, I think we had Slese Misali of Sweet Lina, the water. I think it's Spring Water, the CEO of Sweet Lina. Do we have him on third place? That's the question that I was asking. On fourth place, I don't remember the guy. He's a musician, but an artist manager. So he's an artist manager. So he wanted to also hop on to the podcast. I think they were also working on some music. So they wanted to premiere the music in the podcast. So I was like, okay, like we'll talk about it. Do you want to hear that? Because I think we've already had one artist in the show where we were like, okay, this might be going somewhere. But I think Famous and Era just split up because I don't know what's the reason, but Famous is no longer making music with Era. So those two, they were a duo, and I'm a piano duo from Soweto. So we had them on the podcast, I think, earlier on last year. So we got to chop it up with them about music business, marketing, and all things between, So I think they're no longer together, and Famous, I think, is the one who's like nice, because now the YouTube channel, obviously, because the guy who was running it was Era. So Era is like the one who's like consistently releasing the music, and Famous is the guy who taught Era how to be a producer. Like he taught him production. But even now, you can still hear Wusi. Era is not really there. You understand? He's not there. He's still learning. You can tell by the mix. There's certain things. He's young in there, So you can be an artist, but there's where your ear it doesn't reach. Like you can be an artist, but when it comes to like music, I don't know how can I make it make sense to you guys, because there's certain, in music, there's certain people who listen to certain, there's people who listen to Ghost Notes. You listen to Marcus Miller, you listen to Ghost Notes. You listen to Bob James. You listen to, like, there's always pockets within the music where people are just listening to the details, how is he touching? Oh, and I'm the Ghost Notes of Needing East or Victor Wooten. So there's always those pockets where like people, when they listen to it. So if you are very aware of like production, you'd know, but there's a certain pocket which Famous used to feel that Era is not feeling, and he's still learning. I can tell. Like, shout out to Era, and I really am a fan of the two guys. I just don't know Wuti Famous, why is he not releasing? And at the same time, I know Wuti Famous is also anti-social, because I also see the stuff that he posts, and I'm like, he just needs proper management. Yeah, when he does have the talent, he does have the skills to match that, and he's putting in work each and every day, I just think Uguti, man, there just has to be that one person who like opens up the door for them. Uguti, bro, you're too dope. I'm gonna do A, B, and C for you. I think they need that more than anything. So yeah, man. I think that was not what we intended to talk about in today's episode. On the later on episode 93, on a road to 100 episodes. So after this episode, we'll be left with 7 episodes to record and release, so we can reach that 100 episode. So I did ask you again, Uguti, like, what do you want us to do for the 100 episode when we reach that milestone? The 3 digits, we're going from 2 to 3 digits. What do we need to do? Because it's the biggest, the biggest. It's one of those biggest episodes, and I really admire. I never thought about. I think for the longest time I wanted to reach 100 episode, and I've never envisioned or like embodied the idea with what are we doing after 100 episodes. I never embodied that vision. I just had the vision from episode 1 to 100, and I'm like, oh, this is what we need to do. And how do we maneuver? Like, how do we bring in something different? How do we use skill? How do we grow here? How do we, I've always seen myself within the bar or the threshold of 0 to 1, or like 1 to 100. I've never seen like myself planning beyond that. So now I think it's planning for another 100 episode after the 101 episode, and I'm very grateful for everybody that's listening to the podcast, for sure. I think what we had planned to talk about today, it's Big Brother Mzanzi, which is it's on its season 3, and it marks its 20th since Big Brother was launched. I'm not sure which year it was launched, but now it's on its 20th year in season 3, and I think they're on day 71, if I'm not mistaken. There are 20 housemates, and the previous winner is Michelle Dimpo Invunda, who is Mpho Badimu. You might know them as Mpho Badimu. So the runner-up was Gash 1. So I'm not really a fan of Big Brother, so I don't really know what really goes on into the house. I know, like, I understand because the people are so penduga from the house. There was that gay guy who was in Uzad. He was also in the house. I forgot his name. I think the last time I really watched Big Brother is when that guy won, Lexi and Mandla. Mandla was the guy who won. I think it's the same Big Brother that Soul was a part of. I think that's the one of the Big Brother that I watched at the end, and I'm like, oh, okay, Lexi, Mandla, I see this, I see that. But I've never been like a huge fan of the show, So yeah, man, I just wanted to talk about that. How are you finding it, man? Is it dope? Do you think maybe I should give it a listen? Not a listen. Do you think I need to watch it? Because I also understand there's certain things now that they decided they won't show on screen. Because back then they used to show more girls, that they used to show the titties, the private parts. They used to do that. Because now I heard they're no longer doing that. You do have ultimate privacy when you go do your thing, shower, or they give you privacy. Back then you didn't have privacy yet. So I think they made some adjustments, of which I think it's good adjustments to be made. Because even for people who want to be a part of it or join Big Brother Mzanzi, the only thing when they think about the tens everybody off is everybody's going to see my private part, So I think having that out of the way, but we'll just mute or blur or do whatever when these scenes happen. It's the ultimate way to go, but just be comfortable. This and this won't be aired, and this will be, if it does air, it will be what you call this blurred out, So yeah, man, do let me know what you think, man. Don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe to get a notification for each and every time we drop a new episode. And before we end this episode, I wanted to talk about Toyota Lazy as well. Bro, I was listening to not a lot, I'm lying, but I listened to snippets, 2 snippets or 3 snippets if I'm not mistaken, of Toyota Lazy. The music that he's making, the music that she is making now, it's trash, bro. It's trash. I was listening to some of the stuff I saw before. I'm like, bro, what happened to Toyota Lazy? I think going to the States, because I also understand because back then I don't know if you all remember, or like, we used to have cartoons called the Powerpuff Girls. I think when he left SA, he went to play one of those cartoon characters, in those Powerpuff Girls. So after that, the music is pop. Honestly, the music is pop. They pop. The performance of one of the songs they were playing, and I think I saw a comment from someone saying, "With babes, don't release it. Don't release it. I know we are fine with this one. Don't release it. Keep it for yourself." Like the music, man. I just wish she could give herself time, space to think about the content, the music that she's putting out, because it's not the one. The music that she's releasing lately, I don't know. And like, I feel like the bar that he set before he left SA for the UK, I think it was very high. To see her now release whatever she's releasing, it seems like, to me, like Toya is a new artist, So like, I was like, why ain't you doing whatever everybody is doing? The upcoming artists, the mistakes, and like certain things you'd expect someone like Toya Lazy to see, which is like based on experience, of course, which is like, what? I'm not supposed to do A, B, and C because of A, B, and C, So, but she made a lot of music, and I'm like, oh, who's in charge of management or admin or like, PR? Because now this situation needs or deserves a bit of PR, because this thing is not landing. And that's how she sings, bro. Like, nobody's going to book her. That I will tell you for free, So yeah, do let me know what you think, man. I might be capping, or like you feel or share different sentiment to that of mine, So do let me know on the comment section. I really enjoyed spending the past 17 minutes with you guys on the podcast, and I hope that tomorrow, when we release the morning episode, we have huge numbers. And I appreciate you again for, being with us, being a part of the family. To those of you who even joined today, man, kudos to you. And the song of the day, I did say, the song of the day is Jealousy featuring CKRSA and Tyler, ICU, Limcam, and Khalil Harrison. So yeah, that's all I had for the segment of afternoon on our road to 100 episodes, man. Do let me know in the comment section what you want us to do for the 100 episodes. Give us a suggestion, and also like stick within budget. It mustn't be too expensive. And maybe we'll get to shoot some of the content and post it up, and post it up, man. Thank you for listening. Let's meet tomorrow on another amazing episode of Bedroom Convos. I'm your host at the most, SFM, Daddy Waddy Pod, aka Future Short. And maybe you might get a chance to call me Daddy like Cairo. Have a lovely evening. Cheers.